She's 2 houses down and we wave at each other all the time. We're probably similar ages. And so we always like wave at each other when I'm driving in and out or I'm out in the yard or whatever. And she's come over like one time and asked if I needed something when I was shoveling snow. But
you haven't introduced yourself yet, have you?
I don't think we have. No.
Love it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book Retorts. I'm Danielle.
I'm Sam.
This is the podcast where one of us explains a weird piece of media to the other who has no experience with it.
That's right, Danielle. I'm like a tulip bulb. Plant me and water me with your information, and maybe I'll destroy the Dutch economy.
That took a turn. Not where I was expecting that to go. I thought there was going to be like new spring, new beginnings.
Nope. Keeping you on your toes. Tulip wars.
Poor Dutch economy.
I think they've recovered since then, Danielle.
Luckily, this is not actually something Sam's unfamiliar with.
I wish I was. I'm kidding. I'm sure it's great.
Because this is part 2 of the 2013 Korean drama, I Hear Your Voice.
I hear it, Danielle. What's it telling me? It's telling me about I Hear Your Voice.
It's telling me that you're going to have to give us a summary of the first episode.
I remember exactly one name, Soo Ha, so everyone else doesn't get a name in my retelling.
Totally fair. I'll try and fill that in for you, maybe. Sometimes my notes are wrong. I actually had to double check my notes to my first notes. I was like, wait. Did I screw up that name? No, I didn't screw up that name.
Been there. I've made that mistake, and it is unfortunate. Like, sometimes I'll assign that to the wrong person because in the context I wasn't sure whose name would belong to who.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And then you have this panic that you've been saying the wrong thing the entire time, and that it's publicly out there. No, just me? Okay.
Yep, been there. 100%. So I'm not going to go in order here. I'm going to go in chronological order of the story, not in how it was told. Soo Ha was a kid. He was in a car accident with his father who died, but it was actually a murder. I'm guessing a secret government plot to hide the fact that they were creating psychic children. We'll get to that in a moment.
Sure. That's the plot of this.
There was some assassin dude who hit the car trying to kill the father, and then when that didn't happen, he beat him with a pipe to death. So grim.
Yeah, it was a very grim first episode. There's actual several things in this this plot that are like, ooh, ow. That's not good.
So anyway, little Soo Ha, because of the accident, managed to become psychic, where if he looks into somebody's eyes, he can hear their thoughts. And we had a discussion about how psychic hearing inner monologues is whole kind of nonsense, but we'll leave that for later.
We'll have more thoughts on that.
I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately for the murderer, this was witnessed by 2 young girls, and they're teenage girls, high school girls.
Uh-huh.
Names, not important.
Hye Seong and Do Young.
Okay, sure. Got it. Thank you, Danielle. So Hye Seong is the daughter of who was their housekeeper for Do Young and her family.
Uh-huh.
And because of the incident, there was a whole other incident with a firework, and I'm not going to get into it, but the point is they had a falling out with that family. They were basically burned that bridge because that family tried to make them cover up for their child and some nonsense shenanigans, and they refused to go along with it or take the fall. And
listen to the first episode for context on that, everybody.
Is it really that important? I don't know. And I'm not going to get into it. We don't have all day.
It's referenced periodically, but yeah.
Anyway, the point is she's got a chip on her shoulder from being wronged as a child by Do Young.
Do Young, yeah.
And now she's a lawyer, but she's a terrible lawyer because she doesn't really care about being a lawyer.
Such a bad lawyer. I have questions on this one too. We'll get into it, but
why is she a lawyer if she's so terrible?
Why is she a lawyer?
What happened to her childhood sense of justice, and how is it beaten out of her? Anyway, point is, she's a lawyer. Soo Ha has been in love with her since he saw her come testify in the trial of the murderer that put him away at great risk to herself, even though Do Young chickened out. And he's been looking for her ever since. Cut to the present. There are some shenanigans with high schoolers where they are pranking a girl, but Soo Ha intervened because he psychically reads about the prank happening and he intimidates the bullies, and they're not very happy about that. But one of the girls who's part of the bully gang is also his friend and kind of crushing on him. So that's a thing that's happening. But the inciting incident is that the girl they were bullying falls out of a window like goes into a coma, and everyone sees the bully girl look out the window like, oh, must have been her, because who looks out a window after someone falls? That's suspicious.
To be clear, that is why I was laughing, not because she fell out of a window, but
I mean, they could both be true.
the preceding incidents that happen.
Right. And so guess who is the newly minted public defender who represents this poor falsely accused girl? It's, I forgot her name already. Sorry.
Hye Seong.
Hye Seong, that's it. I kept trying to say Soo Ha and Hye Seong. I don't want to get them mixed up so much. It's hard. So Hye Seong is the lawyer, and she's like, just cop to it, beg for forgiveness, and we'll call it a day. And she's like, no, I didn't do it. And for some reason, she's not listening to her client. She's going to barrel ahead with making her plead guilty anyway, until Soo Ha's like, hey, check it. I'm psychic. I read her mind. She didn't do it. Do what's right. And she's like, okay, Psychic King, I believe you. Let's do this. But I think the big dramatic twist at the end was they're defending the bully girl from being falsely convicted, and they're like kind of winning, and the opposing attorney is Do Young. So, old rivalries come back, and we ended as the coma girl who fell out the window just woke up and is coming to testify immediately, which is, I'm sure that's how that works.
That was an excellent recap. Well done.
Oh, I almost forgot. Murderer dude is also out of prison and is in the mix. We don't know really
is perhaps out of prison because Soo Ha hears his voice in the...
He hears his voice! It's in the
courthouse
show!
Somewhere.
It's in the name of the show, Danielle! Oh my god, I got it! No, I'm kidding. Also, apparently, Soo Ha is an amazing electrician and repairs a bunch of streetlights. I thought that'd be a special mention.
So stupid.
Thank you. Yes, it was.
Excellent work there. That was maybe one of your best. I'm very impressed.
Well, to be fair, very little happened in that. Like, there was a lot of plot, but in terms of actually, like, a lot was just like background and not very consequential. Like, the actual beats were there were a few of them and they were just very prominent. So there wasn't much to say.
Pretty much, that's how I get through several of these episodes per podcast episode. Otherwise, we'd be here all year. Like Hyperion.
Yes, you're Hyperion. Chase that white whale.
All right, moving on. As Sam
I want to know how to get her off from being convicted, Danielle.
We'll find out. As Sam said, we left off with Do Young deciding that she's going to bring in the girl who fell out of the window because apparently she's awake from her coma.
Oh, couple points. Sorry, Danielle. I just have to say this. Before we get into the courtroom drama, caveat, we know anything about Korean justice system. And based on the previous episode where they didn't wait to interview the kid before not trying to convict the murderer guy, like, well, the kid's in a coma or he's non-verbal right now due to trauma, so I guess we'll just proceed with the trial without our star witness, does not give it much in terms of like confidence in the system. So this show does nothing to give a good impression of it's not a good ambassador for the Korean justice system. I'm going to say
that's a good way to put that. Yeah. I have big questions. If this was the only thing I'd ever seen about the Korean justice system, I would have some major issues with Korean justice system. Maybe I still do. I don't know.
This is the only thing I've known about the Korean justice system directly. So I'm going to just say it's all based on this. If this is wrong, don't take this as an attack on the actual Korean justice system. Not related, I'm sure. I hope.
Anyway, we'll find out more of this episode. So back in the court, the girl who fell out the window is there. Apparently, she just came out of her coma that day. So that's
wild.
Insane. And I wouldn't say she's in traction, but she's like in a wheelchair. She's got like, bandages and wraps and gas. And I was like, okay, that's a real choice.
Wheel her into can you just take a deposition?
Yeah, like a film. You don't like have to bring her in. Doesn't she still need, I don't know, IV fluids or something? Like, crazy. Is she on pain meds? She's got to be on pain meds, right?
I don't know, Danielle, but this comes back to the timeline for all these trials. Has it been a week, a day? How long has she been in a coma? How long has this trial been going on?
Who knows? But that's the other thing you didn't mention from the first one, is these court cases move like lightning through this justice system. This is the fastest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They are speed running justice. They're like, if we don't get this going right away, then we're never going to we're all going to like mayflies. We'll have a week to live. We got to get this trial done done.
Yeah. I feel like the United States justice system is very slow. I feel like there's got to be a happy medium where maybe we could wait a few weeks to make sure everybody's out of their comas. I don't know.
Or verbal as a witness.
Crazy. So Do-young goes up to ask questions, asking her to explain what happened and if someone pushed her. And the girl's like, and he guesses, what does the girl say, Sam?
She goes, yes, that was her who pushed me.
Yeah. So she goes, yeah. And Do-young asks her to identify who. And she points to Songbin, who is the girl who looked out the window, who was the bully.
Yeah.
And of course, Songbin, you don't know this because you haven't watched this and I didn't tell you this, but she is like a little bit of a street girl. And she's out there and she just like pulls, she has this very nice little like wig on to make her look less, threatening. She pulls it off and her red hair is flying and she's screaming and cussing. She's like, how dare you liar! Like, she just goes off on this girl.
I mean, not to attack the victim at all here, and the victim is one who's being falsely accused, but like, you're not doing yourself any favors by flying off the handle in the courtroom.
Oh, I mean, yes, that's Hye Seong's trying to like put the wig back on her, and I'm like, that's too late. Like, everybody's
that ship has sailed.
She's like, calm down. So Soo Ha uses the commotion, of course, to run up there and read the injured girl's mind. He just like grabs her wheelchair and is like staring into her eyes.
Wait, is she not in the witness stand? Is there like no bailiff who's like, hey, yeah, anyone just run up to the witness?
She's in the witness stand, but he just like jumps the little, divider and is like up there, and like everybody's trying to get the girls off.
Can
like
do that?
she's trying
They're
to
not gonna like tackle your ass and put you in.
Commotion.
Okay,
there's commotion.
Okay.
And you hear her voice saying she can never tell the truth or it'll be over for her. That's all he hears.
Okay. His powers are questionably useful at best.
Oh, I have thoughts later on something that he manages to find out, and I'm like, how?
I also want to point out that we were yet undetermined if his powers are merely psychic or also clairvoyant, if he can see the future a little bit, because he avoids punches by reading the person's mind about what they're going to. It doesn't make any sense. So we'll see.
Maybe people think things a millisecond before.
We went over this, Danielle. No, they don't. People don't think before they act or talk at all. Like, I certainly don't.
So outside the courthouse, Soo Ha tries to catch up with Hye Seong, who's like left. They've left, essentially. The court's over, adjourned.
Kind of recess, hopefully.
And Hye Seong mentally tells him to get lost, and she never wants to see him again because she's like, he's ruining her career, essentially.
How is he ruining her career if, like, she's just doing her job as a lawyer?
Because they were doing well previously, and then they agreed to bring in the other person because, like, they thought that she was innocent, but now it's like she's here, and she said that the girl was innocent, but now it looks like the girl's not innocent.
Well, I mean, this is the lawyer's mistake. You never bring on a witness who haven't deposited. What's the word? I guess it's deposited.
Done a deposition on.
Yeah, but would you say deposited?
It probably is deposited.
That doesn't sound right.
Depositioned.
I like deposited better.
Lawyers. Book her towards lawyers.
We need help. We're clearly idiots. Anyway, my point is, even if you have a psychic boy on your side saying, I know she's innocent, why would you trust that the injured party's going to tell the truth?
I don't know why they thought she was going to, especially knowing the history of I assume they knew the history that she used to bully her, or maybe they don't know that history.
But isn't like the first rule of lawyering, never ask a question you don't know the answer to?
Yes.
So you should know this, Hye Seong. That's on you for being a bad lawyer.
Yeah, well, we've established that she doesn't care. This is her first time caring. She's making some missteps.
Yeah, anyway, sorry. I just wanted to say, I think that is nonsense to blame Soo Ha.
Yeah, she totally blames him for, like, giving her a moral conscience, essentially.
How dare you make me do something right?
Yeah. So back at the law office, Hye Seong's mother has shown up with food for everyone and apologizes that her daughter is so brusque, essentially. She's like, I know that she can be difficult. And the other lawyer that started with her, you may remember that she got hired on at the same time as another lawyer.
Oh, the other lawyer who's like, he's very timid, right?
Yeah, he's got a name. We'll get there. It's somewhere later in my notes.
yeah, clearly a very important character.
No, he is. I just don't. It's Kwon something, and I don't quite remember. I have to get back to it.
And this is part of their psychic detective agency where they go around solving crimes from the description you sent me.
Yes. See, he's the previous. So I don't know what all I said in the first one, but he's the one that was like very gung-ho about like what it meant to be a public defender. He was very like
earnest.
Yeah, and he used to be a cop back in the day, and this is
Didn't know
he
that.
transferred into law. Yeah, well, it gets into that a little bit more in this one. So the other lawyer that's with her kind of argues with the mom's like, oh, she's only harsh on the outside, and she's like, big cuddly teddy bear on the inside, and the mother's all over that. Like because she's always trying to like set her up with people. It's like, ooh, you're my new favorite lawyer because you like my daughter.
Uh-oh.
So meanwhile, the argument with Soo Ha is continued into the office, and Soo Ha is arguing that she can't give up, and why should Songbin admit that she's guilty when she's not, which is totally fair.
Yeah. Also, guess what? You can advise your client, but your client decides what they plead, not you.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe it's not there. Don't know.
Again,
the
fair.
mother overhears her daughter's defeatist attitude and then, like, loses it on her. Like, she just chews her out for having no moral character on how dare she be a terrible lawyer. She didn't raise her that way and, like,
Go,
et cetera, et
yeah.
cetera. Like, she just goes off on her.
Like her.
The mom's great. Cut to the jail. The senior lawyer in their department. So there's 3 lawyers. There's the senior lawyer, the 2 that just got hired on, and then there's like maybe a paralegal or something. I'm not quite sure what the 4th lawyer is.
Sure.
So the senior lawyer in their department is there visiting an ex-client that he's been close to for years. The man asks if Min Jun-guk have ever stopped by the office. Apparently they were cellmates back in the day.
That's the murderer.
That's the murderer. The lawyer asks who he is, and he's like, oh, he's just the guy that mentioned that he's just a guy that mentioned that he had a debt to repay to one of the lawyers there. But the lawyer, of course, has not heard of him. He hasn't seen him. Meanwhile, Hye Seong is reflecting on her actions as she walks home, and then she's suddenly surrounded by the boys from the previous episode where she kicked their basketball down the hill. You may remember the basketball hits her, and she just like throws it.
I didn't because who cares?
Yeah, I know, but apparently it comes back into play. Who knew?
This is your Hyperion, Danielle, because every little thing seems to come back.
Yeah, apparently. So the kids all surround, they're teenagers, they're late teens. They all surround her and they're still mad about it. They did not let it go.
Guys, it's been like months maybe, who knows?
And they start to chase her, which is a wild thing to do to somebody in their, like, a woman in their late 20s as a 17-year-old boy. Like, what are you doing, man?
Well, like, is this menacing intent or like just a harass?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like,
wow.
oh, they're not gonna, like, I think they want to, like, beat her up or something.
That's what I'm getting at.
Or scare her. Or scare her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But surprise, her omnipresent stalker is there. It's Soo Ha. And
Soo Ha,
after he...
Kung Fu Master. I forget, but the martial arts. Yeah.
And after he makes her, basically he steps up and
if you do a good job as a lawyer, I'll defend you.
Basically, she's like, if you promise to help Songmin, then I will help you. She's like, are you serious right now? Like, you're holding your help hostage? He's like, yeah. And so he does end up offering to help. And luckily, as you mentioned, he's like a black belt or something. And he's very famous in the neighborhood. So when the boys realize who he is, they're like, nah, you know what? I think we have something we have to do. I've got to go. My mom wants me home. Like, they just leave.
Oh, I want to see a fight scene. I'll get Jackie Chan style with props and everything. Maybe I just always want to watch Jackie Chan.
So Soo Ha...
My music on Jackie Chan do not entertain you.
Yes, I suppose he's like Jackie Chan. I don't know.
No, he isn't. That's the problem.
You don't know that. You haven't seen him fight yet.
That's the other problem.
Give it time. We'll have a fight scene later. Spoilers. Okay. So anyway, the two of them together, they're heading back towards her house, and Soo Ha tells her that he ended up listening in on the girl who was in the coma. And he didn't hear exactly what happened, but it definitely wasn't that she was pushed. She was in the window before then and fell out somehow. That's what he gleaned from her.
Did she have like a seizure and she has to be like covering up her seizures?
I don't know. We'll find out.
You don't know.
It's actually way dumber than that.
Oh, is it just that she's clumsy and she's afraid we're going to figure out she's clumsy? Because that's hilarious.
Maybe. We'll find out.
I got it, Danielle. Oh, no. Why did they see it before? It's so obvious. All right. She was cleaning the window and her ghost boyfriend pushed her out because she's dating a bad ghost from the wrong side of town.
Yes, there's ghosts. Didn't want to tell you that in the summary, but there are.
Why not, Danielle? There are psychics and lawyers.
Yeah.
Equally as fantastical.
Hye Seong contemplates bringing the witness back. She's like, maybe we should have her back and like try and get her to tell the truth.
Cross-examine, yeah.
Sure, that's going to be a thing. But she's afraid that the girl's just going to lie again and decides that they need evidence. You know, a thing that you think they would have before they went to court.
You would think there would be an investigation, maybe some police, like, and again, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't understand how lawyers work, but lawyers don't generally go out and do investigations. That's the job of police or private eyes, things like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the cops just didn't do a good job, because as we'll see time and time again in this show, the cops are terrible at their job. But
they need to hire Monk or Psych or any other million private detective agencies that actually do a decent job.
Or just this lawyer that used to be a cop. He's way better than the cop.
Depressing.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny when that happens because, like, it's, again, to make the heroes seem competent, you have to make everyone else seem incompetent, basically.
Yeah. I'll get into the cops later because I have some feelings.
Yeah. Cops everywhere are the same.
As she makes it home, he drops her off at her apartment. She gets a text message alert on her phone as Soo Ha's leaving, and she checks it out, and it says, "I'll be there," in English from an unknown number.
Sorry, that was me. I didn't mean to text her. It was a misdial.
She wonders if it's from Soo Ha, as he's walking away. She's like, what a weird little kid, you know?
I mean, fair. He is a little weirdo.
Back at her office the next day, or someday, she convinces Kwon Woo, that's the name of the lawyer.
We got there.
She convinces Kwon Woo, the other public defender, who used to be a cop, as I said, to come help her find evidence. So they head to the high school, they dress up as high schoolers, and they go to the high school to investigate.
So they're literally doing the Steve Buscemi, how do you do fellow kids thing.
Yeah, they're Jump 21ing it.
21 Jump Street?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, great.
So
amazing.
good.
And the problem is, in all these TV shows, all the high schoolers are played by 20-year-olds anyway, so it's they do look the same age.
Yeah, they do look I'm not sure if they look high school age, but
no.
I guess if you saw them in a high school uniform, you'd go I guess they're just old looking high schoolers.
But the thing is, in this universe, the high schoolers all look like 25-year-olds anyway, so it's
they don't look that much older than the other high schoolers.
Exactly. In reality, they'd be like, no one's buying that.
So immediately, Hye Seong manages to befriend a couple of the girls to spill the tea on the whole situation that happened. And they tell her that everyone made fun of the girl, but basically only because she was popular and pretty and smart and had just signed an agreement with an entertainment company. So obviously,
what? She's an idol?
Yeah, and can you imagine? I mean, it's not impossible, but can you imagine a situation where somebody's pretty smart, popular, just signed an agreement with an entertainment company, and people don't want to be friends with this girl?
I mean, I guess if you're jealous, if you're super jealous and petty, but that doesn't seem like
you think she'd just have a whole core group of people around her that want to be popular. Oh, you're in part of the entertainment industry. Can you get me into the entertainment industry? Maybe she's a lovely person. Wild.
Maybe she was actually a nice, cool person, and I don't know. That's just crazy. That's just the weirdest reason.
Yeah, and so they thought it was weird because obviously she didn't want to die. So she wouldn't have thrown herself out the window. So obviously somebody must have pushed her.
Ghost boyfriend.
Yes, but during her breaks, she did use the computer room a lot. They have a computer room because this is what did I say, 2013, something like that, 2015.
Okay, revising. The reason she has to hide her ghost boyfriend or computer boyfriend, either way, same thing, is because as an idol, your whole thing is you can't date, right? Publicly. Mm-hmm. Because all the K-pop stars have to keep their personal lives very secret because it messes up with the whole fantasy that the fans have in their parasocial relationship with them. So maybe that's it.
It's more stupid.
Danielle, please, I'm trying to think of the stupidest thing I can.
First off, you probably won't think of it, and it's more stupid than you think.
Wow. If it's stupid, then I can't tell the world about my ghost boyfriend because I'm a pop idol. That's impressive.
You're gonna find out in 30 seconds. It's so bad.
Yeah, but I like mine better.
Yeah, yours is a better.
I don't know if it's better, but it's funnier.
Yeah. So, Kwon Woo, meanwhile, is scouring the area where she fell, where there's still a body chalk mark on the ground.
Nobody does that.
I love.
She wasn't murdered. You don't need the body chalk outline. What?
Yeah, first off, she wasn't murdered. Second, it's just a chalk mark behind some bushes, a spray painted mark behind some bushes is just still there.
Is the whole outline?
Yeah, just the whole outline of a body.
In the dirt, not in the concrete or anything.
Yeah, in the dirt behind some bushes.
So you spray painted dirt and it's still there weeks later or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it might be 3 days. Who knows? I don't know how long she was going to grow.
And the chalk outline thing is largely not done anyway. Like, that's another thing that comes from movies more than reality.
Yeah, so good. So he's scouring the area and he finds a cigarette butt.
She was smoking? And idols can't smoke?
Maybe, we'll find out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I don't mean to keep... I'm just burning with anticipation about how dumb this can be.
Hye Seong heads to the computer lab and Soo Ha comes across her. He just saw her talking to the other girls earlier and he's like, what are you doing, man?
You obviously don't belong because
He's very amused by the whole situation.
Sure.
But he's willing to help her because apparently even though she's 27 or something, she has no idea how computers work, which is shenanigans, man. She grew up in computer time.
Well, especially as a lawyer, paperwork and computers and accessing databases of case files is a whole thing.
Yeah. I get that this was 2013, but again, she grew up with computers. There's no reason she wouldn't know.
I guess when was PACER established? Because that will tell us when did lawyers start really using computers.
She doesn't even know how to check the web history of a computer. She is computer not savvy.
I mean, I get not knowing how to check the web history as a thing, but
not when she's 27 and this is that was the time, Sam. If you grew up with computers, you know computers.
This is hilarious. I just read Wikipedia entry for PACER. It says, as of 2013, it holds more than 500 million documents. So, by 2013, it was already a massive thing for lawyers.
Yeah. No, she doesn't know. Maybe not in Korea, Sam. I don't know.
It started in 1988 as accessible by terminals and libraries. Okay, there's no lawyers. They know how to use computers.
She uses a lot of paper in this TV show.
Oh. All right. So that was a digression to PACER. I'm sorry.
So they sit down at the computer terminal that she normally uses, and it turns out that most of her search history is just how to buy cigarettes, how to get the smell out of her clothes, etc., etc. Back at the hospital, they head back that way, and she wants to talk to the girl, and she's trying to convince her to tell the truth now that they have evidence, Sam.
So, okay, I'm sorry, what was the evidence? I missed that. I was so upset about
they found cigarette butts at the scene, and then when they looked at the search history, it was all about where to buy cigarettes, how to get the smell out of her clothes. Clearly she was at the window smoking. That was what they've decided.
So, I guess I didn't miss it. I thought there was actual evidence here. All you've told me is she would maybe smoked. That has nothing to do with her not getting pushed out the window. Maybe she was smoking by the window and got pushed out.
She might have been, but they seem to think that she was just at the window smoking, which is one, you're not allowed to do that in high school.
Sure.
And at all. It's a big thing there. And also that you, as a entertainment contract thing, she also probably should. Yeah, she probably shouldn't be smoking either.
Especially if she's a singer or whatever. But this evidence is as flimsy for the defense as the evidence against them is flimsy for the circumstances.
All circumstantial. Sam, everything's circumstantial in this court case.
Nothing. None of this is actual evidence. I literally thought I missed you saying something about evidence. I'm that doesn't sound like actual evidence to me.
No, I put evidence in all capitals because I was sure, it's evidence.
I'd put in 17 quotation marks.
So she's sitting there, she's talking to the girl, she's you've got to tell the truth, it's not right to lie about this. And for some reason, she lets Songbin and Soo Ha just hang out around the corner nearby. And so when Songbin hears that the girl won't be testifying with the truth, she breaks free of Soo Ha and tries to run at her.
Trying to convince her to tell the truth?
Hye Seong is talking to her, the lawyer.
So Hye Seong's talking, and Soo Ha and Songbin is the girl. Okay, got it. So I forgot who was who for a second there. I got them all confused.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were a lawyer, I would not be bringing my charge and Soo Ha with me to talk to this girl to try and convince her to tell the truth at a court case. I would go by myself.
Also, you would bring her in for a deposition. You wouldn't just talk to her on the street.
No, they're sitting outside of the hospital and they're just chatting.
You wouldn't just do that. You bring them in, you get them in a sworn deposition. Hey, did you smoke or whatever?
Yep, no, none of that.
She's not a good lawyer now, even though she's trying to do right. She's still not doing good lawyer stuff.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I'm not a lawyer, I know that.
Songbin obviously doesn't like what she's hearing, so she rushes at her and starts to yell at her. And then the girl breaks down and she's what did I, you may not think you deserve to go to jail, but what did I do to deserve any of the bullying that happened? My life was jail at school.
Snap.
So, you can go to jail now, essentially. She's, using it as a metaphor. My life sucked, your life can suck. Which, honestly, seems fair. Maybe don't bully people, lady.
I mean, I'm not saying that's proportional response, but 100% don't bully people, and you're definitely not, a paragon of moral virtue here.
Yeah. And then this seems to be the first time that Songbin has ever thought about the, repercussions of her actions, because she suddenly realizes, whoa, I didn't realize that hurt you, and I'm really sorry about
Actions
that.
have consequences? What? Is she 12? What's going on here? How are these people both children and... all right, I'm done with it.
So she realized, she suddenly feels really awful about it. She didn't realize it was impacting her that much, and she apologizes. And basically, they wrap up this whatever interview, and Hye Seong's parting shot is to tell the woman basically that, the ball's in your court. You can make the decision to be as bad as the person that was bad to you, or you can... do the right thing, essentially.
You think they might come up with, some kind of plan that makes everyone happy? They could have been all right, here's what we'll say. We'll say you thought I pushed you because it was all happening so fast, and you knew I was in the room, but it really just you tripped and fell. We won't tell anyone about the cigarettes, and, you won't have to tell anyone that I did it, and we'll all clear this up, and then everyone goes home happy.
And everybody just lies under oath. It'll be fine.
Oh, who can't, well, she didn't push her.
That's not the point, though. The premise is that you have to tell the truth, Sam.
Well, the point is the only person not telling the truth is the girl who was pushed. She's still going to lie. She's just going to lie now to correct her previous lie, which is she didn't have to lie. She has to say well, I didn't see her push me. I assume she did because she was there. She's undoing her previous lie and just the cigarettes have to come up. Why does cigarettes even have to be mentioned? She could just have been near the window and accidentally fell out and thought she was pushed as she was looking out the window.
Yeah, well, none of that happens. So
maybe I'm too pragmatic and not virtuous enough for this show.
Yeah, I think that's that would teach you a whole different lesson, Sam.
Which is a lesson that hey, bully, you gotta take some of the chin here for being a bully, and you gotta stop being as bad as her, and everyone can go home happy.
Yep.
Compromise.
Anyway, I'm with you, but here we are. The next day at court, the girl's there, obviously, coma girl. She's ready to testify, but as she's about to, the prosecutor, Do-young, as you might remember, reminds her that if she says anything different than she said yesterday, that she'll be accused of perjury and could face jail time or a fine. So just keep that in mind. Why don't you, before you speak?
Saying, keep lying because I want to win this case.
Yeah, 100% that. Just so you know.
I mean, I'm not a high-priced prosecutorial lawyer, but how much glory is there in defeating an overworked public defender for a case about high school girls?
Okay, she doesn't care that it's the public defenders. What she cares about is that she's fighting against Hye Seong.
I get that, but I'm this feels very petty.
Yeah, her and Do-young have a long, long history that they need to keep in mind. So Hye Seong is obviously stymied by this, but before she can step forward and think of something, the elder lawyer, the senior lawyer from her firm, messages her. She takes a look at her phone, and there's a code section, a law code section that he texted her.
They're going to find some loophole where she can change her thing and not go to jail?
Exactly that. So
I like my solution better. More lies.
So she asks for a law book, and grinning asks how old the girl is. And the girl's I'm 15, because we established earlier, I didn't tell you, but she's 2 years ahead in school. So even though the rest of them are all 17, she's 15. And Hye Seong announces... The coma girl.
Yeah, got it.
Girl.
Sorry. I keep getting them all confused. I'm sorry. And we're not doing a great job keeping all their names straight ourselves, so sorry.
That's all on me, I suppose. Not really, because every summary I ever do, the names are confusing.
This one's on me. I don't know why I'm having such trouble keeping all their names. It's not that I can't forget their names, but also coma girl versus bully girl. It's not, I don't know. Just I'm trying. I'm sorry.
It's not really relevant because coma girl will be out of the picture shortly. These are cases of the week. Spoiler, it doesn't matter.
So why am I spending so much energy trying to remember them is the thing. I should forget them anyway.
I don't know why you are, Sam. I'm just telling you the story because it's absolute nonsense.
Thank you, Danielle. I enjoy that.
So Hye Seong announces to the group that per code section 159, anyone under 16 isn't bound by the oath, so she's fine. She can say whatever she wants.
So, according to this show, Korea law says if you're under 16, you can lie as much as you want. That's fine.
You can change your oath. You can change your
testimony.
What you said from one trial to another. So if you lied at one, it's okay to tell the truth the next time.
That's not what? So
because they're children, I'm sure. Quote unquote.
What? I'm not going to say hold 5-year-old accountable for perjury or whatever, but is that real? Is that a thing? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know what the
sorry,
rules
my
are.
brain broke a little bit. I'm like trying to figure out the implications of teenagers lying to her oath is not a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And how do you know, like, then she's lying now or then?
I
Just
don't know.
nonsense.
Well, I mean, they have somebody who can read minds, but that's not going to help them, is it?
Well, no one's going to trust that as testimony. If polygraphs, which are known to be BS, can't be admitted in court, which is good, they shouldn't be, then psychic teenagers should not be able to have their, like, testimony put in as verbatim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they repeatedly stop him from trying to do that because he constantly is like, just let me at him. And they're like, no.
What is he? Is he a moron? Is he like?
Well, yeah. And it worked so well the first time when he was a child and he was like, I can read his mind. And they're all like, okay, crazy pants.
What? I'm sorry. My brain is kind of ground to a halt trying to square the circle of these people being like, oh, we're going to solve crimes and investigate, and also being the dumbest people on the planet.
It's so good.
I just have a very hard time with. I'm trying to reconcile those things. Really, just give me a moment.
Buckle in then, because that's all the show is. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. So anyway, cutscene. She won her case. Yay! Hurrah!
That was easy. They don't even hear her testimony and like go back to her and like comment like see her wrestling with her moral conscience.
Didn't ruin her contract with the entertainment industry.
Yeah, they didn't even go into that. Just skip right over all that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool.
So Hye Seong calls her mom to brag, telling her that she didn't let her down and asking her if she already took down all the flyers and banners. You might remember her mom like populated the whole alleyway with her. Yeah, a restaurant and alleyway. And her mom's like, yeah, I already took it all down. You didn't deserve them. But as Hye Seong comes around the corner because she's going to visit her mom, she realizes her mom basically like doubled down and left them all up. And they're just like literally all over the alleyway.
Aww.
I know. She tells her mom that she won the case and she watches her mom from afar, like her excited reaction is just she's like dancing she's doing a little dance and she's like all excited that her daughter won and she did the right thing. It's very cute.
Aww.
So anyway, back at the police station, Soo Ha has gone in to check on the status of Min Jun-guk, which you might remember happened at least 2 or 3 days ago that he heard his voice in the
so he's had to wait a few days, let him get all murdery.
You know what? Who cares if the murder is least? I think I'm going to wait it out. This court case is more important than murder.
What a choice.
And the police officer tells him he's been released, which we know, obviously, from the plot of this, but also,
why?
What? Like, first off, he was only in there for 10 years for literal murder. And then, like, attacking kids.
Murder.
Yeah, and then attacking kids at a court. Like, he got good behavior, I guess, he got released on. Like, they swear he's, like, reformed.
Well, he didn't murder any children in prison, so I guess he's good to go.
And then secondly, let's pretend that was like maybe he had a 20-year sentence, but it got released 10 years for really amazing behavior.
Yeah,
like
parole,
they didn't tell any of the people involved in this case that he had literally threatened in court that he would murder. Like they didn't think that like maybe we should tell the kid.
Is he not being like on parole? Is that getting check-ins? Is he not being monitored for release? That's crazy.
I assume he's being monitored to some degree, but I don't know. As far as I understand, in the United States, sometimes certain people are notified when somebody's released from jail. Like if it's a potential threat to you that they've been released, I think you can tell the people that they've been released. I don't know if that's true in Korea, but like you think you would tell them. Don't like the kids that he threatened to murder like deserve to know that he's been released from jail?
Yeah.
Just in case, just in case that he goes after the people he threatened.
Clearly everyone in this universe is terrible at their jobs.
Yeah, I don't know. As Soo Ha's heading home, he runs into Hye Seong on the bus, and he scores her a seat, like in the full bus, by reading the minds to see who's going to get off, which earns him a couple of extra credit points.
Sure.
And he walks her home, and before she goes in, she tells him that she'd wanted to talk to him about his text messages, because she's gotten a few of those text messages from earlier.
Why is Min Jung-guk sending her text messages in English?
It's a mystery.
Wait, did I get his name right, even?
Yeah, Min Jun-guk.
Obviously it was him. We knew that. But, like, I just clicked to me, like, why in English if she doesn't...
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you would text her. I don't know why you would say it in English. I don't know why he says that specific phrase. Like, I get
texting them to, like, taunt your victim anonymously. Although this reminds me of Christmas Bounty, where the evil dude would call the bounty hunter and be like, ha ha ha, but he would just tell her it was him instead of like trying to make it anonymous or threatening, which is dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why you text "I'll be there" over and over in English to your person that you're threatening. It's a mystery.
I know, he's trying to text her the lyrics one line at a time to the
"I'll Be
Friends
There" song.
theme song.
We'll find out. Maybe. Anyway, she's like, so I don't know, like, I just wanted to talk to you about this. I know you've been texting me. I can't accept your puppy dog love. Like, I can't accept this. We're from 2 different worlds. We're different ages. You need to focus on your schooling. Like, this is, we can't have this relationship. And he's like, WTF? Like, what are you talking about, lady?
I don't even
I'm not
speak
texting
English.
you. And he tells her it's probably spam. And she's like deeply embarrassed that she gave him a lecture about all this.
Also,
And,
maybe it's not spam. Maybe look into it.
Yeah, maybe. And then she closes her eyes because she's trying to block him from listening. She's like, no, you can't hear me. You can't hear me. Like, like covering your ears, but it's her eye. Very funny. And she's like running up to her apartment.
Also, like you said, if they had given her a heads up about Min Jung-guk being released, maybe she could have put 2 and 2 together.
Yep, nope. So as Soo Ha leaves her apartment, he's heading home, and he suddenly realizes that Hye Seong mentioned she'd been getting texts since that first day of the trial. And he has flashbacks to hearing Min Jung-guk, his voice in the courthouse, and he's like, oh no, like, that's not spam. That's him. And he turns and rushes back towards her apartment.
Min Jung-guk, his signature move is texting his victims in English.
English? What if she doesn't even speak a word of English? And she's like, what is this nonsense? Like,
why? It's just, he's not American or English or anything. Like, he's not from
they're all Korean.
Yeah, so like, he is going out of his way to be more obtuse.
No, Sam, I don't know.
Wild stuff.
So meanwhile, Hye Seong is wondering if it's Kwon Woo that decided to text. Like, maybe it's just him texting her because he's been a little flirty with her.
Ew.
And she decides to call the number. And as she dials, a ringing phone comes from another room in her apartment.
Oh,
dun,
no.
Dun, dun. And the song
The
that's
call is coming
there,
from In Your House. It's the Friends theme song. I'll be there for you.
it's not that one. It's the one that is the like Jackson 5 one or something.
Okay, I like mine better. I think it'd be funny if like suddenly everyone had to clap together.
No, that's not what it is.
Come on.
It's not "I'll be there for you." It's just "I'll be there." That one.
Okay. I like my idea better, but maybe Min Jung-guk is just a huge Friends fan. Is like, hey, let's all watch Friends together. I forgive you about the whole testifying against me thing. Let's just all watch Friends and become friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not what happens in
message.
the story, just so everybody knows.
Oh, it should be.
So it's playing, the music's playing in another room, and she's like, oh no. Unfortunately, as Soo Ha heads up the alley to go back to her apartment, he's jumped by none other than...
The girl.
Roll.
The girl, the bully girl who's like, you failed me, I gotta punch you now.
No, it's the basketball guys from earlier that you didn't think would come back, but they do keep coming back.
I was gonna guess Min Jung-guk, but okay, sure. Why? Why are these people important? Why are they the Roland Dimian of this book? The movie, sorry.
They just keep coming back, Sam. And the scene cuts in and out as she, like, from between him fighting these people off and then her, like, scouring her apartment trying to figure out where the sound's coming from.
Why did she just leave her apartment? That'd be my first thing.
Yeah. Leave your apartment, call 911. Obviously. No, she's following horror movie laws, which we will get into. And she's, like, wandering through her apartment trying to find the stupid phone. And I was like, run! Get out of the house! Like, what are you
People
doing,
are so
lady?
stupid.
So she grabs a pan off the stove to use as a weapon, and she's like,
just leave! You don't need a weapon if you're not there!
Like, so stupid. So Soo Ha finally makes it free from his attackers. He manages to punch out like 7 guys because he's amazing.
So wait, basketball bros, they're upset that Hye Seong kicked their ball away.
Yeah,
sure. And made them
literally because
so inconvenience them.
Tiny children.
Yeah. And so like their grudge now transferred to Soo Ha because he defended her. They're like, we gotta teach that kid a lesson because they kicked our ball away and made us go chase it for like 2 minutes. People are dumb. They're all dumb.
They're punks, man. So Soo Ha, like I said, he makes it free. He rushes back to her apartment as Hye Seong is calling out, who's there? Like I said, she's in a horror movie.
What? No, what? No, bad.
And he jumps at the door, breaking it down, and runs inside. He takes the pan from her hand and heads into the room to find the phone, which is somehow
he's
still
a karate
ringing.
master with a pan.
Yeah, which is somehow still ringing this entire time. Like, she's
Didn't
just
go to
has it
voicemail
up
yet?
to her ear. Like, it's just ringing and ringing and I'm like, no, this is not how phones work.
I would have loved it if it rang and then suddenly went to, hello, you've reached Ming Jung-gook. If you'd like to leave a message, please do so off the beep. I'm currently out murdering my enemy lawyer, so I'll get back to you later.
Yeah, no, it just rings and rings and rings.
Hilarious.
So surprise, the phone is just in a closet. There's no one inside there. It's just the phone, which he immediately touches because screw crime scenes, I guess. I don't know.
Guys, you're contaminating the evidence.
All right, cue to the stupidest policeman in the entire world who literally they literally cannot understand why she would be contacting them about a potential stalker. Like, she's like, this phone has been texting me. This phone is in my house. Like, this is concerning. And they're like, we don't understand why it's such a big deal. Like, they're just,
Phones just appear in people's calls all the time. It's a normal thing.
It's such a frustrating conversation. Like, as a human being, as a woman watching this, I would be like horrified. Like, it just made me so angry.
The problem is that you don't realize in 2013, you're like, these new technological marvels that are phones, they just magically can teleport around. You have no idea what they're capable of. They just happen all the time.
I was like, yeah, this is how people get murdered, and then the cops are somehow not at fault at all.
Always.
And also, I can't imagine, she's a public defender. There's no way that a public defender who's, like, theoretically is being stalked, as far as we can tell. Like, this isn't a bigger deal. Like, they'd be going through her previous court cases, like, what's happened. Like, a public defender. Come on. Being stalked. Like, that's extra red flags. She's got it in with the court system. She's got it in with, I assume she knows police people because you're a public defender. Like, there's no way this wouldn't be taken at a high, like, level of seriousness.
You would think also that, I mean, she's not a prosecutor. A prosecutor would be more likely to be targeted, you think. But even so, as a lawyer, like, if you failed a client and they, or rather didn't win a case for a client and they got put away, they might blame you and make you a target. This seems like obvious stuff.
Yeah, it's really wild. So the cops finally leave and Soo Ha rushes out to, like, follow them. And he secretly tells the cops that the cell phone almost certainly belongs to Min Jun-gook because he's just been released from jail, the timing's weird, etc.
And they're like, sure, kid.
Okay. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Like, sure, kid. So he heads back up to her apartment and to tell her to stay with someone for the night. And then he ends up passing out from his wounds from being attacked earlier. So
wait, he has wounds?
Oh, yeah, he's like holding his side and, like, he's got cuts on his face. He looks like he's been beaten up because he has.
What? Sorry. Why are the basketball bros so bent out of shape on the... Oh, this is dumb.
Like 7 of them jumped him. There were like a bunch of them.
I get why he could have been beaten up. I'm like, why does it have to be so vicious? Why do they care so much? Like, let it go. It's been weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, cut to a scene of Soo Ha as a child. He's obviously having some kind of flashback. It's his uncle, and it's post-funeral from his dad, and his uncle's telling him that he'll be living with him now, but of course Soo Ha can hear inside of his head, and he's complaining that it's already too hard with 3 kids, and now he's got this other one. And then you cut to a scene at an amusement park where Soo Ha's looking for his uncle, and he sees him across a crowded plaza, and his uncle's thinking, I just wish he'd disappear. And then the uncle, like, runs for it, assumedly leaving the kid alone.
So his plan is abandon this child at an amusement park.
Yes.
A place where lost children are regularly reunited with their parents pretty easily.
Yeah, he's with some adult, like a woman, but it kind of felt like maybe it was like a foster placement kind of situation. Like, it was not, like, you never see this woman again. I think it's just like somebody who's helping him get to his uncle, and then his uncle's like, screw it, I'm not doing this, and leaves.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah. Poor Soo Ha. What a terrible life.
Also, very funny. Imagine, okay, we're going to go meet your foster parent, runs away. Like, imagine if, like...
Time to go get your uncle. Like, oh, I guess your uncle never showed.
Imagine in Daryl if, like, when the fake real parents came to pick him up, instead of just, like, giving Daryl back to his parents, they all just ran. It's like, all ran up the door right past them. Hilarious.
That's pretty much what happened.
That's so silly.
Yeah. So back in the present, Hye Seong is nursing Soo Ha back to health. She's patching up his wounds and taking care of a fever he suddenly developed, because all things lead to a fever in
I might get beaten up, I go to a fever. Yeah, absolutely.
You're out in the cold, your hair's wet, you breathe funny, you...
Get punched in the gut.
Get punched in the gut, you sneeze outside, you have a fever. It's just how everybody in Korea has a fever, as far as I can tell.
Oh man, those poor people.
I know, just constant fevers. He wakes up And she's wondering if she should contact, like she's thinking inside of her head, should I contact his parents? And he tells her like, no, you don't need to do that. I'm an orphan. And she feels guilty, obviously, and sad for him. And she tells him he can stay with her for the night.
Yeah.
I know. This plan is coming to fruition.
I do not like that plan.
If I fight the basketball players and I
Florence Nightingale this,
and I break down her door and I get the flu, then I will get to stay here overnight.
What a mastermind!
She finally asks him his name, which apparently she somehow has not asked him this entire time. She just kept calling him.
Like you and your neighbor, Danielle. Introduce yourself already.
She just keeps calling him Gum because he sticks around, quote unquote.
That's pretty cute.
And before he tells her, he's like, I wonder if she's going to recognize it. But no, Sam. Somehow she doesn't recognize his name. And even though it's one of the most traumatic moments of her life,
she doesn't put two and two together.
She doesn't somehow, like, it just disappeared from her brain. The fact that she testified on behalf of this child 10 years ago.
She's almost as bad at names as we are.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So the camera pans outside as they go to sleep. And who do you see, Sam? You see Min Jun-guk.
No, I see the basketball players.
Yeah, they're just like
they're
basketball
there,
against the ground. It's like slapping against the ground very dramatically.
They're like slowly dribbling, like, we're gonna get you. It's like A Wrinkle in Time when they get to the planet, everyone's dribbling in unison.
Yes,
the balls
exactly that.
Yeah, it's just like that.
They're turning evil. They're getting into, I don't know, demons. Let's go with it.
Yeah, great. I mean, so
that'd
aboard.
Be a pretty cool scene, you gotta admit. Like,
and a bunch of basketball players are out there dribbling ominously.
I'd be down for that.
Menacing dribbling.
Sadly, it's just Min Jun-guk. Who cares about him?
Yeah, what a lame loser. He's not basketball punks. What's he gonna do?
He's just staring at her window very dramatically, a dark window, and he has her mom's flyer in his hand that has her face on it. You know, my daughter is a public defender. Come eat at my restaurant sign.
But does it have, like, her dress on it? What?
It has her restaurant on it, like her restaurant name and everything.
Sure. Okay, so he's going to go and harass her mother. Got it.
Maybe. We'll find out. Back in Do-young's house, she's having dinner with her evil judge dad, who you might remember is the evil judge who threw them all out on the street, as Sam mentioned earlier. And the mom, of course, is there, and he's berating her for screwing up her case in front of Hye Seong.
Screwing up her case? Her client lied.
Yeah, well, he blames her. And
she's
this guy
like... Everyone sucks in this show.
Yeah, and she's
like... Who do you root for? Min Jun-guk?
I mean, I wasn't against him until later on. So, I obviously murdered somebody, but we don't know why.
Honestly, I'm kind of on the side of the basketball punks. Like, they are the only ones with a legitimate grievance, and they seem focused on their goal. Like, they're very goal-oriented.
Yeah. Anyway, Do-young's like, you know what? I'm not hungry. I'm gonna go. Peace out. Like, she just leaves.
She goes to the restaurant with the mom and goes eats there.
Yeah, maybe she gets adopted by her. Like, I'm really sorry about everything.
That'd be so much better movie or show.
It would be. So the next morning, Soo Ha wakes up. He's feeling a lot better, but he gets up and he has a little heart attack when he sees his idol that he has put on this pedestal, Hye Seong, and she's in her pajamas with her messy hair in her messy apartment cooking breakfast with corn in it, which I was all in on. I think all breakfast should have corn.
Well, I wouldn't say all. I wouldn't put, like, corn in waffles, but...
have you had cornbread waffles? They are freaking delicious.
Sure, that's a fair point, but, like, I wouldn't put just corn in a regular buttermilk waffle.
I bet that'd be good. I would do it. I would do it. That's a bad one. You should pick something else. Like Cheerios and corn, maybe not. But like
Cheerios and corn, okay, sure.
Probably good.
Okay, that's a fair point. I was just thinking about some of my favorites. But honestly, again, not a big... Like, what's she putting the corn in? Is she making, like, corn hash? Like, what's she doing?
No, it's like a rice situation.
With the egg in there and everything?
Yeah, probably. It was like a whole mix of things that she was mashing
together. That sounds pretty
together.
Good, actually. I'm on board.
It looked really good. He was, like, just appalled because it was very, like, she put it in a Tupperware container and then, like, shook the Tupperware container to get the sauce all over it. And he was just like, what is wrong with this woman?
That's great! What's not a bad thing? What's she gonna do? Like, toss it like a salad?
Well, because he thinks that she's, like, perfect in every way. So her hair's all askew. She's in her ratty pajamas. Her apartment's just a hot mess. And she's, like, clearly a very human person. And he's like, I was not expecting this.
Well, yeah, because he's a dumbass teenager who doesn't know anything about reality.
So later that day, Soo Ha is back at the police station and he's interrogating that really stupid cop that came earlier who had no idea what was going on. And the cop tells him that the phone, that they did some investigation, the phone belongs to this random lady. It was like stolen or whatever.
Stolen? Uh-oh.
And the fingerprints that they lifted from the phone, even though he touched it all over, belonged to no one. There's like no recognition for any of the fingerprints.
You mean maybe he wore gloves while handling it if he's a criminal?
Maybe. And they don't know why he's blaming Min Jun-guk because he's living as a reliable, good man. He volunteers at like 6 different places. He's basically a saint. So ignoring the prior murder and threatening all of them, I guess they've done no research.
And the child endangerment, attempted child murder. He's a great dude.
Well, I at this point was like, do they know what he's done in the past? Or are they just like, well, he's really changed his life, so you shouldn't blame him for it? They don't seem to have any connection.
And to be clear, I'm not saying there isn't the opportunity for reform, redemption for criminals. Like, everyone can change and grow as a person. But obviously, A, this is a TV show, and we know he's evil still. Mm-hmm. And B, you think you'd at least just like double check and make sure?
Yeah, and at this point, the police have done so little research on this that they don't seem to realize at all that this kid or the lawyer are remotely connected to Min Jun-guk.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. You'd at least do the bare minimum.
Yeah, he didn't even look like at his old record or anything. So the cop, of course, refuses to tell him anything about Min Jun-guk, like where he lives or volunteers, which is obviously fair. But the kid asks, of course, a bunch of leading questions so he can read his mind. So he gets all that information anyway.
Cool. Good job, kid. You're violating privacy.
Well, yeah, you know what? It's for murder, Sam.
Or preventing murder?
So Soo Ha heads over immediately to the place that Min Jun-guk is volunteering, which is some kind of soup kitchen style place.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like an outdoor venue. And Soo Ha heads up and approaches him. And he's like, listening in on his head. He's kind of just standing there. And the guy's like, can I help you? And he's like, oh, I was just wondering how I could volunteer. Like he's, trying to be sly about it. So he gives them a fake name and he gets signed up to help.
Yay. It'd be great if the rest of this movie was just him and Min Jun-guk just doing good deeds.
Just like learning that he really did change and he wasn't in charge. There's another stalker and Min Jun-guk helps them get rid of the stalker.
There's like a montage of him like serving soup and being nice to kids. Like, I guess he has changed.
Yeah. If only, Sam.
Right.
It would be such an interesting plot if the previous murderer of your father decides to help you with the problem you have with your current girlfriend.
Well, girlfriend's a strong word. Let's not get there. But the current murderer was hired by the evil judge as a hitman.
Maybe.
Because he's working for the secret government program about the psychic children. And he's like, oh no, this psychic child is ruining my daughter's lawyer career. I gotta eliminate him.
That's possible. That's very, very possible.
I mean, come on. Great.
Anyway, meanwhile, Hye Seong is being given a new case, and shockingly, Do Young is the prosecutor once again.
Is there only one prosecutor in this whole city? What's going on?
Yes, the answer to that is yes.
Great, perfect, got it.
And
is every case going to be against Do Young? Because that's going to be amazing.
I mean, all the ones you see pretty much are, because that's like the whole premise of the show. I
Very
assume there's
funny.
cases in between that we just don't witness. Because who cares about those?
I do.
So the paralegal or whoever, it doesn't seem like they're a lawyer. It's like a younger person that helps in the office and does a lot of their research. So I'm assuming it's the paralegal. Tells her the history of the case. Hye Seong, the history of the case. So basically, this is our case, Sam.
A new case.
Two brothers came into a convenience store and stole all the money. And you see the
And they
scene play
said,
out.
why the long face?
Yes.
No, sorry, that's a different joke.
And one of the brothers removes his mask for funsies. I don't know why he removes the mask before he does this. But the owner comes out and is threatening them, and the one that's unmasked stabs the owner and ends up killing him. And the other brother tries to stop him. Got it?
Sure. Let's say yes.
He tells her that the prosecutor is charging them both with murder. And Hye Seong is like, that seems like overkill. Do Young's off her rocker. She's always like doing crazy things. Isn't there like CCTV footage or whatever? Like why would you charge both with murder? And the paralegal is like, yeah, but surprise! They're twins, Sam. They're identical twins. We cannot tell who stabbed the guy and both are blaming the other.
Okay. So their solution to the classic, I didn't do it, you did it, is, I want to charge both of you. That's not how it works, is it?
Well, that's how it works in this case. They do get into the logistics of that a little bit, but I did skim over some of it. But we'll get into it.
Unless that description where it's like, you're innocent until proven guilty unless you're guilty until proven innocent, and you only have a 2% chance of freedom or whatever from the description you sent me. is real. In general, the burden of proof is on the prosecutor to prove which one of them did it. And so if the prosecutor can't prove which one of them did it, it's like, well, that's your problem. It's not for them to prove they didn't do it.
Yes,
this
but there
show's
is
backwards.
but there is some kind of loophole because they talk about it a little bit.
Oh, it's a loophole,
like,
Danielle.
That you can theoretically you can charge both of them. We'll get into a little bit more because we do see the
nonsense. I want to read the Korean Code of Justice and see where it says this loophole about charging twins.
So she's supposed to be, Hye Seong's supposed to be defending the one that they think stabbed the owner, like that supposedly is the one that actually did
the real
it.
murderer.
Hye Seong goes to introduce herself to her client, and the twin states that his brother is just trying to take the blame, but he did it.
Wait, they're both claiming to have done it?
Yeah, they're both claiming that, yes.
I thought they were blaming
this is
each
where
other.
it's confusing, Sam, because
Thank
my
you.
original note said that they both are saying that they did it.
Oh, okay.
Though my original note said that they both are saying that they're the ones that did it. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. They're both trying to like throw it off or whatever. And then later it talks about how they're both blaming each other. And I was like, pick a lane TV show. Which one are we doing?
Like either they're both trying to take the blame for it because they're trying to help cover for their brother, or they're both blaming each other because they're turning on each other. But it can't be both.
So yeah, at some point it looks like they turned on each other, but that's not clear in the, I don't know if it's the interpretation, like what I'm reading, or if it's just not clear in the actual story plot, but at some point they start to look like they turn on each other. And then I changed my notes because I was like, what's happening right now? I don't understand. Are they blaming themselves or are they blaming each other? Like, I don't know.
Doesn't change the overall premise that, in essence, there is confusion about which one of the twins did the stabbing. We can just leave it at that.
Correct.
Okay, fine. I don't need to know the rest.
So basically he says his brother's just trying to take the blame for what he did, but if a brother does that, he'll go to jail because he has a prior record for another crime.
And I won't go to jail for murder because I don't have a prior record.
He'll go to less time in jail, essentially.
It's still murder.
Yeah, I don't know. So this twin doesn't have a prior record. He also asks Hye Seong to check on his new puppy and walk it for him, which seems crazy. It's your lawyer, dude. Find somebody else.
The show keeps getting dumber in like crazy ways.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have a puppy for the rest of this episode. So she brings the puppy.
What?
She brings the puppy into work, and the paralegal tells him that the brothers are being tried together. And drama, the lawyer for the other brother is Kwon Woo.
Okay, sure. I don't know, that's drama, but let's go with it.
Because they have to work together or separately, or depending on what happens.
Okay, so they have to do their jobs.
Yeah. Back in the soup kitchen.
Okay, drama!
Back in the soup kitchen, Soo Ha is like, you seem super familiar. You don't happen to remember me, do you? Which seems like a weird way to go about it, but what do I know?
You want to get stabbed? This is how you get stabbed.
And he read Min Jun-guk's mind, which is all, he does seem kind of familiar. Which, what? It was 10 years ago. And I'm like, maybe I looked like my 17-year-old self at 27. Or 10-year-old self, at 17, 18, 19. Like, maybe I looked like that kid. This kid, the kid they had playing him, does not look like the 18-year-old version of him. So I'm going to argue that there's no way on God's green earth that Min Jun-guk is like, yep, this is the same kid that I saw 10 years ago. Like, he's not going to make that. Nobody would make that connection. He looks nothing like that child.
100%.
Crazy. Soo Ha asked him if he's at the courthouse recently. And he's like, no, wasn't there. And Soo Ha's like, oh, my mistake. I must be mistaking you for someone else. Which feels very heavy-handed, man. What are you doing, Soo Ha?
Dude, this is how you get stabbed. He's not slick.
He's 18, 17, whatever.
Yeah, but he's still not slick, though. He's like, even for an 18-year-old.
Yeah. Later that day, Jun-guk is asked by one of the people running the program to give Soo Ha a form for his school about his volunteer work. And he's like looking around the grounds for him, and he finds another kid and he asks about him. And the kid knows who he actually is. Like, he knows he's Soo Ha. And he unknowingly reveals his real name. So that lasted less than an episode.
Kid's dumb. Didn't think you get through with this. Come on.
Jun-guk is like, it's the murder child! And he asks for his phone number, and the other kid just, like, gives it to him, because people don't have stranger danger, I guess, in Korea. I don't know.
Or in any of our movies, apparently.
Like, if some random person was like, can you give me their... I'd be like, no! Like, I don't have that. You're gonna have to ask them. That night, the lawyer staff decide to have a group dinner, and the senior lawyer who she got off on the wrong foot with, I skipped that whole plotline, it's not really relevant, but she got off on the wrong foot with him. He tells her that her main skill is only that she can tell whether people are lying or not. Like, that's her big...
She's had like one case.
Yeah, and now, but like, when he says that, she's like, oh my god, do I really not have any other skills? Is my whole career a scam? Because the only reason I know people are telling the truth is because Soo Ha tells me. Like, I don't know. I didn't know that she was telling the truth. And so at this dinner, she gets drunk to cover up her shame, I guess. She feels so bad about it.
I do that all the time, too. That's how we get through life, Danielle.
Yes. And Kwon Woo, of course, is forced to take her home. Up? I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, way to shut it down, Danielle.
Recorded.
Yes, and, Danielle. Yes, and.
That I watch a lot of Korean dramas.
There it is.
Actually, I don't care. I'm proud Korean drama watcher. Don't care.
There you go. That's right. Stand up for your weirdness, Danielle.
I always do, Sam.
That's right.
So Kwon Woo is taking her home, trying to get her back to her house. Obviously has no idea where she lives. Luckily, they run into Soo Ha, who does know where she lives because she's in no state to tell them. And Soo Ha takes over for him, and he sends them home in a taxi.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
Oh, no. Just Soo Ha with his drunk idol? Like, this is... not great.
Oh, no. He would never, Sam. He's a good kid.
Is he? He's a stalker.
I mean, he's a stalker, but he's, like, not going to hurt her or do anything.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Maybe at least now.
Oh, no.
I don't know where it goes, Sam. I don't remember how it ends.
I'm just saying, like, maybe I've just been twisted by this crazy show and the weird basketball hooligans, but...
No, he just takes her home and gets her into bed. So the next day...
exactly. Get her to bed.
Well, like, sort of, whatever. Puts her on the couch, I think.
Like, I don't even... Yes.
The next day, as she's arriving at court, she walks in as the senior lawyer is asking Kwon Woo if he happened to ask Hye Seong if she knew Min Jun-guk, because he had asked around earlier. And she stops in shock as the lawyer tells her that he was released recently and had asked after her, saying he had a debt to repay. Dun, dun, dun!
And it's only now coming to light.
Yes. As she heads home that night, she clearly is extremely anxious. Like, she's scanning the alleyways, and she's walking through the park, and she's freaking out, even though I guess he got released several days ago, or a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or whatever, and a month ago, and she's been fine this whole time, so... I guess
except for the phone in her closet.
Yes, I would assume immediately that that's what was happening.
Duh.
So as she arrives, she sees Soo Ha at her door. He's fixing the lock that was broken in from the phone incident when he broke.
So he does locks, he does street lights, he can do everything.
Yeah, except that he does hammer his thumb with the hammer. So I don't know how good he is at all of that. It's amazing that he didn't manage to electrocute himself with the street lights.
Seriously, the city should sue him.
So apparently it's not been fixed this whole time, which seems a little dangerous. I personally would have fixed it that same day. You don't have broken locks in your house.
Yeah, you think.
But she's immediately very wary of him now, wondering if he's somehow involved with Jun-guk because why not? He showed up mysteriously.
And psychic child go hand in hand.
Yeah, she somehow is still not figured out that these two are connected. Obviously amazing. And she yells at him to leave.
Great, good. Everyone's making good decisions in this show.
Mm-hmm. As he's walking home, I would be more afraid to be in my house because you got this random phone that just appeared in your house.
Why is she still staying there?
Yeah, I would be gone. I'd be like, I've got to go hang out with my mother. I'd call my friends, whatever. I would not be at my apartment. At a hotel, I would not be at my house.
Time for a vacation to the Bahamas.
Where does Soo Ha live? Maybe go hang out with him. As he's walking home, Soo Ha gets a phone call, and it's Min Jun-guk. He's like, I got your phone number, dude. I know who you are. And they agreed to meet up at a restaurant.
Why?
To talk. I don't know. Because Soo Ha's like, where are you? I'll meet you. Wah. You're like, okay.
Yeah, dumb.
So he goes in, and they're eating food. Jun-guk has this whole conversation in his head. He barely says any words out loud to Soo Ha.
So why invite him? Okay, sure.
Because he's having it in his head. He's like, I see that you can still hear thoughts, just like you could when you were a kid. And Soo Ha places...
He believes him. What?
Yeah, he believed him in the court case because Soo Ha immediately, he says exactly what the guy was saying, word for word what the guy was thinking.
Okay.
And he looks over at him and he's like, what the heck? And then nobody believes him and he's like, ha ha, gotcha kid. Everybody thinks you're crazy. Nobody's ever going to believe you. And that's when what's her face, Hye Seong walks in and
okay, right. I forgot that. I can't believe he believes.
He 100% is in on it. He's like, oh, I see that still works. And Soo Ha's no chill. So he doesn't like pretend like he can't hear him. He's like, say your words out loud. Like he just gets into it immediately.
Dumb.
Yeah, he's like no chill when he's with his father's murderer, to be fair. Like maybe
Yeah, I get
you
that.
wouldn't.
But also you think you have a modicum of caution.
You think he'd kind of have like a plan or something. So Min Jin-guk mentally tells him not to worry, that like 10 years ago he was after his father, now he's after someone else. It was the kid who testified at his trial, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. He's not going to like take him out. He's just going to take this woman out.
Why does he still care about her?
Because she sent him to jail. She's the reason he ended up in jail.
Yeah, but also move on, dude. Like killing her is only going to put you back in jail.
The basketball players didn't move on, but you want this guy who ended up in jail for 10 years to move on?
Those basketball players had a legitimate grievance, all right? She kicked their ball away, costing them minutes of playtime. That's unconscionable.
Well, this guy, like, was clearly going to win his court case before she walked in.
Yeah, okay. I get it, but also, like, I just think, like, the incentive structure is dumber because, yeah, okay, the basketball kids, yeah, obviously holding the grudge for days on this is stupid, but it's not like they're seeking, well, they did kind of seek him out. I don't know, it's all stupid, Danielle, what can I say?
This makes sense to me, Sam, that he would be all in on murdering this person.
I mean, I would just feel like you got out in a record time, maybe,
change your life? No.
Yeah, not even just change your life, but like, maybe if you're going to keep murdering for hire, move on to targets that aren't going to be immediately tied to you.
Yeah, I actually would because I know what the plot, or at least most of the plot of this is. Like, this is actually going to make way less sense later, which is funny, but I can't tell you why.
Okay, great. It doesn't make much sense now to me. He's not like the Joker where he's crazy and criminal. Like, he was clearly a hired assassin, and if you want to keep doing that work, killing people who are tied to you is a bad way to do it.
Yeah, and that he would be the first suspect if she got murdered. Like, who else
100%.
would be? And if he's not going to kill, he just told it, like, specifically said, I'm not going to kill you, Soo Ha. So Soo Ha's going to be like, oh yeah, it was Min Jin-guk. Like, he's gonna, that's who killed my future girlfriend that I would like to have.
No, stop saying future girlfriend. I don't like it.
I'm just saying from his perspective.
I don't want it to be true.
It may not be, Sam. I don't know who she ends up with. I'll be honest. I don't remember how it ends.
Anyway, so that's my thing. All right, let's move on.
So they're having this like conversation where he's saying everything mentally. Soo Ha's getting more and more verbally upset. Everybody in the restaurant's looking at him because it looks like he's talking to himself. And then Soo Ha jumps the table and starts beating him up.
Yep.
Cue Hye Seong getting a phone call from the police station to come down and be the guardian for Soo Ha.
For getting, obviously. I mean, obviously Min Jin-guk was goading him into, so he can discredit him or whatever. It's
100%.
Like, what a dumbass.
Yeah. So they tell Hye Seong outside the police station, like as she comes up, that the man that was beat up isn't wanting to press charges, the cop says, because he was recently released from jail. And Hye Seong is like, and who was that he beat up? Uh-huh. And he's like, it's this guy named Min Jin-guk. And she's like, holy crap. Like, and she wants to see the CCTV.
Can they just do that? They don't have subpoena power.
Yeah, they just pull it up and show her. Maybe because she's the guardian / lawyer.
Yeah, but like, why would they even have the CC if no one's pressing? Never mind, go on.
I think grabbed it from I don't know. And so she's watching it and she hears Soo Ha yelling at him to say what he's thinking out loud. And obviously the police are all confused by the interaction. And she tuits, obviously, that the she that he keeps talking about is Hye Seong, because obviously it doesn't make any sense otherwise. And then she realizes very slowly that this kid is the same one from 10 years ago.
Look who's late to the party!
Yeah, because he promised to protect her with his life and now he's here.
Great. Also, it's amazing how easy it is to play him.
Yes.
Okay,
to be fair, he's a teenager.
Agree.
And so what you see in the CCTV, like I said, is them having this bizarre discussion where it doesn't make any sense to the cops. And then Soo Ha is like, yeah, she saved my life 10 years ago and I'm going to protect hers with my life. How dare you? And Jin-guk's laughing and the cops think he's crazy because they don't have any context for any of this because they've done zero research, obviously.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
Yeah. She agrees to be liable for Soo Ha, Hye Seong does, because... And he's trying to convince the cops that Min Jin-guk is going to kill her. Sorry, it was two thoughts diverged.
Yeah, finish one thought before the other, Danielle, please. This is already confusing enough.
Would you like me to repeat my...
Yes, please.
So she agrees to be liable for him, and he's inside. He's trying to convince the cops that Min Jung-kook is going to kill her. And he's like on the verge again of announcing that he can read minds. Like that's the proof that he has. Because that's worked so well the other like 3 times he's tried it. But Hye Seong steps in just as he's about to do it, and Mind speaks to him to shut it. Like, you don't do that. It's not going to help you. Which is probably pretty funny from a cop's perspective because the camera lingers on them for a really long time and they're just like staring at each other while they have this conversation.
Amazing.
So the cops are reluctant to let him go, but she insists that, like, to let him go to her because they're like, what's your relationship? Like, why are you the contact person for this kid? Like, where are his parents? What's happening?
Good question, really.
Yeah. And she insists that she's known him for 10 years and also because she's a lawyer. And the stupid cop is like, no, she's legitimate. They live together. I can vouch for him. Like, he was the one that was out there at like midnight one night with the phone situation. Is like, yeah, they live together. They're like, she's like, yeah, we're like brother and sister. We're fine.
Oh,
like, I'm gonna take them.
Sure.
So they just go with it to like get him out of it. They're like, yep, we live together. We're gonna go now. Bye.
Dumb.
So the cops end up driving them back to her apartment to drop him off. And the cops ask, like, what's the big deal with Min Jung-kook anyway? He's a good guy. He volunteers in like 6 different places. He's changed his life. He's like a new man. You haven't looked
into his record yet?
Yeah, no. And Hye Seong explains very, like, coldly, like, yeah, Soo Ha saw him murder his father, and I was the witness. And the cops are like, oops.
Freaking morons!
It's a really satisfying moment, though, for at least briefly.
Everyone in this show is dumb.
I can't
Except for the basketball hooligans, the only people I'm rooting for.
I can't imagine that this many things have happened between Soo Ha and Hye Seong and Min Jung-kook, and not a single person pulled any kind of like record that would relate the 3 of them. Like they've got to be all over the records. Like, how does that make any sense?
You think after the fight when they arrested the kid, they'd at least look into the record for like his like, oh look, he has a thing where his father was murdered by this guy.
Yeah, just astounding. Top notch police work, man.
Incredible.
So they insist on watching, of course. The 2 of them go inside the house, so they have to like keep up the charade until they get back inside the apartment. And then once they get inside, she's like, just stay here, like, you know, safety in numbers or whatever. Well, better to have you here than not.
Yeah, of course.
So the next morning, Soo Ha teaches her a few self-defense moves because that's important now that she's being stalked by murder.
Stalked by someone else. So stalked by him, cool. Stalked by this guy, not cool.
Right. She doesn't know she's been stalked by him.
I mean, yeah, sure.
And they both leave for work/school, and the camera pans, of course, and you see Min Jung-kook, like, stalking from the yard. He's, like, just standing there, complaining to himself that
he's never... Creeping around like Snidely Whiplash.
He's complaining to himself that he's never going to catch her alone because Soo Ha is always with her. And he looks down at the flyer he's still carrying around in his hand, I guess. Go to the restaurant,
kidnap her mother, lure her. Yeah, okay.
He's like, oh, there must be an easier way. So, dun dun dun.
Also, again, he's putting in so much effort into this. It just seems like you could do other things, buddy, like maybe restarting your assassin career.
Yeah, literally anything.
Yeah.
Cut to Kwon Woo interviewing his twin. The twin that he
twins.
has.
I forgot about those guys. Who cares?
Yeah, that's relevant, sort of.
Kind of.
It's kind of fun, though. The twin tells him that his past offense was robbing a few empty houses to get tuition money for his brother. And apparently his twin is super smart. He's got an IQ of 152, etc., etc.
Yeah, whatever. IQs are not a good measure of intelligence.
Well, we didn't know that in 2013.
We did. We knew that a long time ago.
So we cut between the twins. Hye Seong is saying that his brother had gambling issues. Kwon Woo says his brother now hates him and is wanting to frame him. So now they look like they're kind of turning on each other, which is why I was very confused.
This is very confusing.
And the other says his brother is jealous that he did better in life, etc. They're going back and forth, back and forth.
Why were they robbing this thing together if they don't like each other?
Yeah. And then there's obviously this concern that if they can't figure out who did it, they may both go free. She finally remembers that she has a mind reader in her back pocket and asks him to help
good.
out.
Finally? That seems like something that'd be pretty hard to forget.
I was thinking that this whole time. I'm like, you know what's an easy way to find out which one murdered the other? The guy with your freaking mind reader.
That was my first thought. That was going to be odd. I didn't even mention it because it was so obvious.
Nope, it took like all this time. This is like days.
Not impressed.
Later that night, Soo Ha promises to pick Hye Seong up from the office when she leaves, but is late getting out of cram school, and Kwon Woo ends up walking her home.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Soo Ha heads to her place and sees the two standing on the rooftop talking, and he stares jealously, dramatically in the rain, in fact. The rain is a metaphor for the inside of his soul.
No, for how he's all wet because he's a dumbass. No, kid, she already told you, no. Also, you're like 10 years younger. Leave her alone.
I don't know if they're 10 years. I think they're probably like 8 or 9, though.
Whatever. Who cares? She already told she wasn't interested. That's the important part.
It is. When he gets inside, she asks him to come to the court, but he refuses. He's basically angry at her for, like, missing his 12 phone calls and, you know, having feelings for an adult her own age.
I hate this. Why is it a teenager with psychic powers? Anyone else?
To be fair, I'd be a little annoyed for her missing 12 phone calls, too. Like, you're under threat from this murderer.
That's fine.
Yeah, like...
Send a text, I'm okay, but your solution isn't to throw a pouty temper tantrum. It's to communicate.
He's throwing a pouty temper tantrum.
Yeah, of course he is.
Meanwhile, the cops head out to follow up with Min Jung-guk. He's packing up all his stuff, and he tells them that he's planning to move out of the area. He says he's trying to be nice to the kid. He totally understands why the kid would be mad at him.
Oh, yeah, murder his father. I can't imagine why he's mad at me.
He's like, yeah, I've changed my life, but the kid doesn't know that, so I'm gonna leave. Like, I don't want to be here for that. He doesn't want me here. And the cops are like, oh, what a nice guy, and they let him go and decide not to investigate the cell phone case either, because who really cares?
What? So my conclusion from this so far is that without the intervention of a psychic teenager, the Korean justice system would be incapable of convicting or holding anybody accountable who's actually guilty and only be punishing the innocent.
Yes, you're guilty until proven innocent, and you do only have a, 1%? 2% chance of...
Whatever it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, the only reason the justice system is remotely functioning is this psychic.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Dystopia!
Think about everybody prior to the psychic that got thrown in jail for nothing.
Or was released and guilty because they couldn't wait for a kid to come out of a coma.
Yeah, amazing. Truly amazing.
Great, let's see how this horror show continues.
To no one's surprise, Min Jung-guk goes straight to Hye Seong's mom's restaurant and applies for her help wanted ad, so he's in it to win it.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, moving on. They're going to court so fast for this twin case, I can't even tell you.
Minutes. They had minutes to prepare.
Yeah. Hye Seong meets Do Young in the elevator on their way up, and Do Young is like, did you study up on your cases where two people are tried for the same crime? And Hye Seong lists a bunch, like this is like an insanely common thing that happens. Like, oh yeah, this court case and this court case and this court case.
All the time, the twin law. Twin law is a big thing in Korea.
They're not always twins. They're sometimes just two people. Like, it depends, I guess, if they have CCTV or not.
Wild.
And Do Young is like, oh yeah, that one you just mentioned is the most similar. It was two brothers who both wouldn't admit that they did it. Oh, and FYI, that the judge that ended up sending them to jail for 10 years sent both of them to jail.
We have.
Is the same judge. Sucker. Good luck out there. Yeah.
Dumb show. Again, I'm sure the real Korean justice system is great. This, dumb.
The judge in question is the one from the interview when she became a public defender who was like, sure, you telling us a story might help you get the job. He was like the deciding factor, you know?
I forgot about that. Why is that? Oh,
he's
stupid.
a side character. I've skipped most of his stuff. It's not relevant, but in this case, it is. It's the same guy, and he's just very, like, full of himself, you know?
Great.
And he's telling the other judges on the panel, he's like, in my years of wisdom and having tried similar cases to this, you just have to believe whatever the brothers are saying, because if you think too hard, it'll just screw it all up and we'll be here forever. So just go with it.
Oh, yeah, thinking. We don't want to do that in a case.
Yeah, wild.
Everyone sucks.
So court's in session, and apparently the prosecutor is not saying, this is where I was very confused because up to this point, this is exactly what the plot was telling me. She's not saying that either could have killed him, which is the entire premise of what I thought was going on prior to this, but that one of them killed him, which is Hye Seong's twin, and the other knew he had a knife and should have been able to predict that there could have been a murder. So they're both equally guilty before the law, even though one supposedly tried to stop the other.
That's an entirely different argument.
Yes.
Her argument is not, we don't know which one of them actually did the murders, we have to hold them both accountable. It is, he murdered and he had an accomplice, and therefore they should get the same sentence, even though that's a completely different charge.
Yeah, so like, even though it would be like, I would assume an accessory to murder.
Yes,
and
that's
maybe
what
you'd have
accessory.
you'd have different laws governing, like different rules about how much somebody would go to jail
Also,
or whatever.
how should you know which one is which?
I don't know. And there's...
She's just saying, I'm going to tell you this guy's the one who did it, and that one's the accessory, even though I have no evidence.
Yeah, she's like, they're equally as liable, regardless, and we think this is the one that did it, but it doesn't matter. We're setting them both jail for the same amount of time.
Make it stop.
I don't know how it works.
It doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb. My brain is shrinking.
So, anyway, they're trying their case. Soo Ha shows up, even though he said he wouldn't earlier because he was all mad at her. And Hye Seong says her twin is going for not guilty. And he didn't know that his brother had a knife, so he shouldn't be tried the same as the other twin.
Sure.
The other twin jumps up and is like, liar, you killed him and you're blaming me
Why
because
is
I have a
everyone
record.
yelling in courtrooms?
It's just how it works, Sam. It's more dramatic that way.
That's not how courtrooms work.
Kwon Woo is like, down boy, and Hye Seong psychically asks Soo Ha if the prosecutor has any info that she doesn't know already. And he's like, no, which... What is the prosecutor's brain a Rolodex? Like, can he just go through and be like, nope, she has zero information that you need in this. He's only hearing what she's thinking in that moment, which could be like, wow, that guy's yelling.
We've been over this, Danielle. Apparently, his psychic powers extend beyond just hearing the moment-to-moment internal running monologue, but also to predicting the future and going back into your memory palace, I guess.
Yeah, it's truly spectacular that he is able to look at her, and he couldn't do it earlier to the coma girl, but he can do it to the prosecutor, which, okay.
Maybe Do Young is more transparent mentally than a teenage girl?
I don't know. I mean, probably, but
maybe.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
So Kwon Woo and Hye Seong have worked together. They like teamed up for this because they're trying the twins together for the same crime. And they've come up with this flawless argument of, well, one of them
is which is basically
the plot of like the Labyrinth guys, where you get to the door and you're like, well,
one of them tells the truth, one of them tells the lie.
He's like, well, one of them might be telling the truth, so prove they're lying. And the judge seems to think that's sound logic. Like, you shouldn't send somebody who's telling the truth to jail.
Well, that was sort of my point. The burden of proof is to prove which one did it is on the prosecution.
Yes, and the judge agrees. It's totally sound logic, including assuming that if one of them knew the other had a knife, then why would they have tried to stop them when they tried to use it? Because, if you knew murder was going to happen, then why would you stop it? So now the judge is requesting that they charge them separately, which is how it should have happened all along. Let's be honest.
Also, which one do you charge with which? That's the whole conundrum.
Right. Well, that's what they have to figure out. That's the prosecutor probably has to figure out.
That's their job. And the police and the prosecutor should investigate. This is like, again, in the CSI or, Law and Order where the lawyers do the investigating and prosecute. Like, no, that's not how it works.
They've already done their police prosecution. They went and got clues that the police missed and checked out the body chalk.
Which is not how it works. I'm angry. I'm shaking. I'm so angry.
I did tell you in the summary that they were investigators.
Yeah, but that's why I thought they were cool PIs. Now they're just lawyers who had to make up for the slack of the incompetent police force.
So Hye Seong is like, ha ha ha, I win this round, Do Young, suck it. And she and Kwon Woo.
She says that right in the courtroom, yeah.
Like, basically. And Kwon Woo does, her and Kwon Woo do a little under the table high five. Like, yeah, we won.
Cocky.
It's great. The camera lingers on some random woman in the audience who looks deeply upset. I'm sure she'll come into play later, so I'm telling you about it now. I don't remember.
Let me guess, the wife of the person who was murdered.
Maybe. Or one of the girlfriends of the twins, don't know. In the
lobby.
Or
the mother of the person who was murdered, something like that.
She's younger, so I think she's...
Wow.
Not like super young, but younger. In the lobby, Do Young and Hye Seong get into it with Do Young being mad at her because she states it's likely the guilty one won't go to jail because they can't prove who did it.
That's not her problem. That's your problem.
And that's what Hye Seong says. It's like, yeah, but the innocent one won't go to jail either, which is the whole premise of our justice system. Like, you're not supposed to jail one innocent person. It's better to let 10 guilty free than to jail one innocent person.
That's certainly one reasonable philosophy. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I can see that argument.
That's the whole premise of their justice system. Like, why do you suck at your job so hard? It's not my problem that you can't figure out who did it. Like, that's on you, not me.
Yeah, that's on you and the police.
Yeah. So after that, she catches up with Soo Ha, who overheard the whole thing. And he's like, remember that firework incident?
Yes. I mean, she does. You don't.
So afterwards, she catches up with Soo Ha, who overheard everything. And she's like, remember that firework incident? Like, here's the rundown on what happened, because it's now relevant that you've overheard all of this and everything happened. So basically, she tells him the whole story, minus the part where they threw her out of the house. She doesn't mention any of that. And she goes, I always wondered why I became a lawyer, because I didn't really want to be one. But now I know.
Amazing. You went through all that work.
That's like, what?
Let me spend a whole, an extra, how many law schools, how many years
of life.
Doing really hard stuff, passing the Korean equivalent of the bar, and then working terribly, and then applying to be a public defender. I wasn't really that into it. I just didn't really feel it. Crazy.
Has like zero energy for this. She's like, but now I know, because the moment I saw Do Young and I like won against her, all of my life choices made sense, which wild take on your life.
Her whole purpose in life is petty revenge. She's no better than Min Jung-guk, who is also all about petty revenge. Right. They're the same person. They deserve each other.
I was just like, whoa, you need some therapy, hon. Like, that's not good.
Well, like, Danielle, I think I found the through line. Everyone in this show, their primary motivation is petty revenge. The basketball hooligans, petty revenge. Min Jung-guk, petty revenge. Soo Ha, I guess, kind of, not really petty revenge, not him, but
give it time, maybe he'll have something.
Yeah, Hye Seong, petty revenge. Do Young, petty, like, everyone's like, this is about how society runs on petty revenge.
Yeah, from 10 years ago. Specifically, like, just really
teenage
long
petty
term.
Revenge.
Like, I refuse to let this thing go that happened 10 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Society sucks.
Yeah. So she's like, all my life choices make sense because screw her. I'm always right. She's always wrong. And Soo Ha's like, but what if you're wrong and she's right? And the camera cuts to the twins being loaded onto a bus to head back to the jail. And they sit in their seats. They both did it. And they smile. That's the end.
Uh-oh.
Who knows what the twins did?
Great. We'll end there. I'm angrier than I've ever been in my life. And that's not true. But the first episode was silly. This one took a hard left turn into infuriatingly incompetent people.
I warned you that this really, really made me question how everything works in the Korean justice system.
I'm so glad we had the disclaimer up there to the Korean justice system, because I don't want people to think that I'm actually dunking on it, because, boy, I hope it's not this bad. If it is this bad, then, look, I stand by what I said. Yeah,
I mentioned in the first episode, but I had a friend I was texting while I was watching this last time, and I was literally just texting them chunks of text where I was like, what is happening right now? Why would this ever happen? How does this work in the justice system? I'm sure they did not care. I was really mad about it. So I'm glad to share this with you.
I'm glad I can be angry for you or with you or whatever.
Yeah, your level of anger was also mine.
These people suck. Again, it's a wild choice to have a show or a story without a single person you can root for.
She is a little unlikable. Soo Ha I like mostly.
Again, but I don't want to root for him because he's really like a dumb kid who needs to learn how to be better.
And maybe he will over the course of the show.
He's not, though. He's not learning.
It's episode like 4 out of 18 or something.
I refuse to let that go. Crazy.
He could have an arc.
Well, I certainly hope so, because right now, I'm like, I hope they all get hit by a bus.
They might be a truck of doom out in the road. They're all standing there chatting, and they'll all die. And Min Jung-guk is like, no, my revenge! Or maybe Min Jung-guk's driving the truck and he wins.
There you go. Tie it all together. Gets away clean.
This time.
All right, well, thank you for sharing, Danielle. I can't wait to hear the next portion and how they'll screw that up, too.
You're welcome. Anytime.
If you out there want to write it and explain to us how the Korean justice system works, or how the Korean justice system works in this TV show, either one would be great. I have no idea. Please do so at bookretorts.com.
You can also blue sky us at Book Retorts.
If you wanted to help fund our therapy program for fictional characters who desperately need it, you can do so at patreon.com/bookretorts.
That really should be what our Patreon's used for. We have a lot of fictional characters that need therapy.
If we had a like Roger Rabbit style therapy practice where like fictional characters could come in and get therapy, like, oh man, we would have a line out the door around the block. It'd be crazy.
Maybe so wealthy.
If only you could give therapy to fictional characters today, what are we doing?
I don't know. That's Let's make it happen.
All right. Well, you help support that. And until next time, I don't know, maybe don't stay in the apartment where the murderer left a phone.
Wild.
Just don't stay there. Leave.
With a broken
Leave.
door, too. Like, it's it's an unlocked door. Not that it stopped him in the first place, but...
That's even more reason to leave.
It's fine, she's got her frying pan.
Sure. Okay, great. Well, until then, bye.
Take care, everyone. I do have your gift for your birthday that I need to get out the door all this time. I could have been on time. It's so close.
Danielle, don't even worry about it. I don't need a gift.
But it's a great gift. It's just sitting in my purse.
Okay. Cash it is.
Yes. I'll figure it out. It's gonna cost more to ship than it was to buy. I'll tell you that much.
Great.
There's no
Foundation of our relationship.
Because I impulse bought it at his door, so.
Oh, I can't wait.
So silly. I'm really building it up. It's not as good as you think it is.
Too late, Danielle. My hopes are sky high. You better not disappoint me. You ruined my birthday.